finally made it. Tournament time is officially here in the Star Wars season. We have a bunch to go over in today's video, including so many brand new trios because of the Pro-Am, what the current meta looks like, who are the best teams, and so much more. We're going to see us start though. Please subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, as we try our best to upload daily competitive content for you guys. If you want to support me even more, the best way to do so is by using code KDOG in the Fortnite item shop. Follow me on my Twitch, linked in the description down below, because we are going to be streaming the entirety of the Pro-Am over there. So make sure you guys just go drop a follow if you want to watch it with me. Without further ado though, let's start off with NA and all of the teams that were able to qualify, and even some super fun brand new trios. Alright, so I wouldn't take a lot of these new trios super serious. As you guys know, the Pro-Am is currently going on, so a lot of the pros and like the big names were not able to play in this Eval Cup. So a lot of their teammates that were back at home had to play with a fill, and that is the case for the team that finished first in the opens of Rapid Threats and Craze. They finished with 310 points, won 2 out of their 7 matches, and got far and away the most elims in this entire tournament with 110 total elims. I'm not gonna lie, this was a super crazy and really impressive performance from them, but I don't think any of these guys are going to be dropping Booga. These are pretty much all of Booga's ex-teammates right here, playing together for some fun since Booga is at the Pro-Am. Second place was Skittles, Pars, and Pump on 286. Also, definitely not a official trio because Baka, Pars, and Pump have already qualified for LAN. Third place though, I'm pretty sure this is an official team and the team that played last season together, but were unfortunately not able to qualify for Grands, of Scare, Edgy, and Chance on 286. Fourth was Vokes. 5th was Zyro, 6th was Nake, 7th was Dozier, 8th was Shadow, Josh, and Magma. Now Shadow was supposed to be playing with Muzz and Rise, but I guess they just didn't play this tournament together for whatever reason. 9th place though is a trio that is an official team that is going to be playing on West, and a player that is back of Paper, and he is now playing with Virgo and Victor V. They finished in 9th place, getting 253 points and got 61 total elims, so he's super impressive. First tournament for these guys ever since Paper has came back from retirement now, and they're trying to qualify to land on NA West next season. And then rounding out the top 10 was Golden, Void, and Ozone, a trio that also played last season together. I think the only other like super big name player that I feel like you guys would care about that was able to qualify for finals on NA was like Dukes, Noxy, and Chimp. So Dukes is also back, and he is playing on NA West next season also, I'm pretty sure, and he is going to be trying to qualify for LAN with either Noxy and Chimp, or there is also still the possibility that Noxy ends up playing with Bucky. But both of the teams that are trying to qualify to LAN from West qualifying to their first Eval Cup finals together is such an impressive sight to see. Let's talk a little bit about some of the trios that were not able to qualify, and then we'll get on to the meta and even some of the super fun teams that we saw. So just one spot out of qual, in 34th place, we saw unfortunately the brand new trio that is an official team of Aviv, Curve, and Tyler just miss out from a literal tiebreaker. They finished with 208 points and were not able to make it into finals. We also have like Visuals, Muzz, and Braids in 43rd. Obviously Visual and Braids are playing with a Minish, so they're not going to be playing with Muzz for the future. They already qualified for LAN. This is just another fill team. Noah W plays in 50th. And then for some of the fun teams that we got to watch, it was like 254th place of Peterbot, Veno, and ThomasHD. Unfortunately, they didn't have a single game inside of the top 10. They were dying to cheaters and street snipers a lot, and there were also all three of them playing from the Pro-Am. So it was a little bit cool to get to see these guys all three play together, arguably some of the best players on each of the regions respectively. I mean, hey, if these guys ever did become an official team in the future, this would be such a scary trio if they were all locked in. If you're wondering, no, big name players like Clicks did not end up playing, Mr. Savage didn't play, Mongo didn't play, but we did get a first look at the meta and how broken the purple lightsaber is. I'm gonna try to show some clips up on the screen right here for you guys, but this thing with the Force ability is one of the most broken refresh items I have ever seen. Whoever gets this item is going to be at such a huge advantage every single game. This thing is actually so broken and is 100% the current best thing in the meta. Let's actually move on to how the finals went now though. Now in the finals, I don't think this will lead to any controversy, but the trio that was able to get 2 wins on the day, and the only trio that was able to do that, was Rapid Threats and Craze. They were able to get a 7 elimination and 6 elimination win, with their other 2 games being a 5 elimination 6th and a 5 elimination 4th. I don't think that this means that either of these guys should like drop Booger or nothing. If you really do just think about it, they probably are like far and away the best players like skill wise in this entire lobby, since like again what I said earlier, a lot of these super big name pros and these super good pros are just not playing, or they're at the Pro-Am, but still a super good tournament from them, being able to win multiple games and taking home some extra money as well. Huge shout out to these guys. Second place is another confirmed trio of Golden Void and Ozone. They won game 3 today, getting a 5 elimination win, and then the last team that was able to get a win winning game 1 was Silic, Cube, and Jarg, and they got a 5 elimination win as well. The rest of the leaderboard just basically goes by whoever got the most amount of elims in this. So in 4th place we had Kit Kat, 5th place we had Skittles, Pars, and Pump, 6th place was Shadow, Josh, and Magma, 7th was Dukes, Noxy, and Chimp. Now their best games from today was like an 8 elimination 5th, and that was pretty much the only super good game that they had. 8th place was Vorks, 9th was Victor V, Paper, and Virgo. They had a really strong game 1, getting a 9 elimination 4th, and then they kind of struggled after that, getting things like a 5 elimination 13th, 4 elimination 16th, and a 0 elimination 27th. Honestly, seeing a meta where there is like infinite ammo and a lot of these guns is just so broken. You really can just get lobby focused so easily in this. And then rounding out the top 10 was Zyro. That was honestly pretty much all for Innate today though, so let's actually move on to how EU went now. Now in EU, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I see a single full trio that has already qualified to LAN that played this tournament that was able to qualify for finals. We have a lot of other big names though that were playing with some new trios, just like we saw on NA. So starting off with in 1st place, we had the trio of CZB, Eclipse, and Nathan on 356. Second was Ghost, Hyper, and Fyron on 342. 3rd place was Chino, Pablo, and Bevies. So if you guys don't know, yes, this is the official trio for this entirety of the Star Wars season. We know Chino and Pablo just had an absolutely insane grand finals where they finished in 2nd place with Ferdoxy, but like we will talk about later, Ferdoxy is playing with Vico now for this entire season because Vico has beef with Flixie currently, so a lot of different like moving pieces to that storyline. But it looks like Chino and Pablo are still holding it down with their new 3rd for the season of Bevies. 4th place was iDrop Sky and Scroll on 338. I heard that potentially Scroll is also on new binds now as well. If you guys didn't know why his name was Scroll, it was pretty much because he literally used his scroll wheel to switch through his builds, kind of like he was like a combat pro player or something like that. But I think he is completely changed his binds now, and I am very excited to see the future of this trio, especially because they finished with the most amount of elims, getting 89 total elims. This is a trio though that has been a little bit underwhelming once grand finals comes along, but they seem to always stick together. And if you guys know me, you know I love it when trios stick together and really build up that chemistry. So I'm excited to see what they can do, not only for this Star Wars season, but going into the next season of LAN as well, since this is also a trio that has not yet booked their spot into the France LAN. 5th place was Rick Bohr, 6th was Autumn, 7th is Kira, 8th was Combat Ball and Mixin, 9th was Craig, and then rounding out the top 10 was Ice. We do have a couple of other big names that were able to qualify. I think by far and away the biggest name trio that played this tournament was 11th place of Vidil, Chap, and Shark. Now this is not like an official team or anything. I think this would be a very fun trio to potentially see play together, but we know that Chap is currently with Mr. Savage and Rezon for this season, Vidil is with Pradaj and Rax, and then Shark is with Veno and Flixie. So we don't even get to see like any iteration of these players playing together at all, but this is a very fun and pretty random team to see. But that is just what's going to come when all of the big name pros are currently at the Pro-Am. We also have like Flixie, Prax, and Glabushke right under them in 14th, Prism Casker and Kyrie in 13th, Twy in 21st, Pink Nebs and Kiro in 24th. So one of the only like full trios that we actually got to see play in grand finals, also able to qualify. Darm, Demas, and Hari in 32nd. Of course, obviously Darm and Demas are not going to be dropping picks after placing 3rd in grands. They're just playing this with Hari for a fill since Cammy and Seti are both at the Pro-Am. And that was basically it for all of the big names that were able to qual. We did have a couple of big names that were not able to qualify, like unfortunately 38th place of Vico, Ferdoxy, and Owls in 38th. I'm not 100% sure if Owl is actually locked in as their official 3rd going forwards for this Star Wars season, but not like the best performance for them or anything. They finished with 60 elims, which is still really good, but had an average placement of 11, so not like the most consistency, and they had 2 bad games. And whenever you have literally like 2 or more bad games in an eval cup, it usually leads to you not being able to qualify. And then then we had like Chris, Tayson, and Chicho, our land qualified team, in 42nd. We saw some other fun iterations of trios like Swizzy, Ping, and Malibuka in 56th. We saw NA players of Reet, Diego Plays, and Pump in 60th. Focus, Uppel, and Panzer in 64th. So yeah, a lot of really random teams today. Let's actually move on to how the finals went now though. Now in the actual finals, it shouldn't be any surprise that the trio that did the best was the team that had just the most experience of playing together of Pink, Nebs, and Kiro. Now these guys were able to win 2 out of their 4 matches and tied for the most amount of elims in this entire tournament, getting 25 elims. Their match history today was a 4 elimination 7th, 7 elimination win, 4 elimination 5th, and a 10 elimination win. This tournament ended up running so late because it got delayed a couple of different times, but Pink, Nebs, and Kiro were absolutely running high ground in this lobby without any other like super good high ground teams in it. They really did just look so amazing today. Oh yeah, and then I also literally just remembered that the FNCS champions of Venya, Pixie, and Marius were also not able to qualify for this finals, placing 143rd. Like I always say for eval cups though, and especially the ones at the beginning of the season, I don't think this one really matters too much to how I actually think they're going to perform in not only this season but going forwards as well. Second place was Craig, Kolb, and Wed. They were able to win game 3 today, getting a 10 elimination win. I honestly don't know anything about this trio, so huge shout out to these guys for being able to pick up a win. Third place was Vokes, Ice, and Clement. They were able to win the first game of the day, getting an 8 elimination win. They looked really good in their first game and then kind of struggled throughout the rest of their games after that. I see Ice around the qualification range for a lot of the tournaments, so maybe that this trio will finally start to break out this season now and show us that they are a super good team. And those were the only 3 teams on EU that were able to get a win. The rest of the leaderboard is like 4th place of Misha, TD, and Jewel. They placed 2nd place twice in this tournament for the first 2 games, getting a 9 elimination 2nd and a 10 elimination 2nd. So pretty unfortunate stuff for them today, but they still did look super good. 5th place was Flixie, Prax, and Glabushke. They placed 3rd twice today, getting a 7 elimination and 8 elimination 3rd. 6th was Video Chap and Shark. They finished with the 3rd most elims in this tournament. Their match history was a 6 elimination 6th, 11 elimination 4th, 0 elimination 23rd, and then a 6 elimination 17th. So obviously this trio doesn't have like any crazy chemistry together or nothing yet, but they did still show that they do have the fighting power, which I think is something that we all know, and I'm very excited to see how these guys can actually do when they are playing with their real trios. 7th place is Teeny, Anzi, and Autumn. Their best game was a 10 elimination 2nd. 8th place was Kenty. 9th was iDrop, Sky, and Scroll. And then rounding out the top 10 was Dexy, Eclipse, and Twy. We only had a couple of big names placed outside the top 10, like 11th place of Darm, Demus, and Hari. 12th place of Chino, Pablo, and Bevies. Comeback Ba and Mixon in 17th. And that was honestly about it. I also wanted to give you guys some updates on how the Pro-Am rehearsals went today, since we are just one day, or even this might be the day of the Pro-Am when you guys are watching this video. So the teams that won the 3 games in the practice games were Veno and Reddish, Zemi and Cooper, and Nikov and Podesai. Now a duo that I want to highlight a lot is Nikov and Podesai. I have heard nothing but good things about this duo since they arrived at the event. People are saying that they look like the scariest team there. So all I'm gonna say is watch out for these guys tomorrow. The Pro-Am is gonna be so hype. Remember, I'm gonna be watching it on my Twitch, link in the description down below. So make sure you guys go drop a follow or just go check it out if you guys want to watch it with me. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, as we try our best to upload daily competitive content for you guys. Please just go K-Dog in the Fortnite item shop if you guys want to support me even more. YouTube says I'm like one of these 2 videos up on the screen right now, so go check them out if you guys haven't already. Follow me on my Twitter at ChiliKdog to keep up to date with everything to do with Fortnite competitive. Thank God for another day, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.